David, I don't know. I have not watched any Shooter stuff. All I know is his ratings are the worst in the franchise's history. So, and according to the title of this video, they get even worse. So, let's just see how bad this is.
Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. Geeky Sparkles is sitting this video out. We're going to talk about Doctor Who having its worst overnight ratings ever. Is this correct?
Oh, God.
Ever, like in the history of the show? Yeah, so the season 2, well, I guess it'd be season 2 or season 15, I guess. Season 15 or season 2 series premiere of Doctor Who dropped, and the overnight ratings were abysmal. Only 2 million people watched. That is really, really bad, guys.
And that is disgustingly bad. Overnight was only 2 million. Bearing in mind, Doctor Who used to take in something like this is overnight. This is overnight, whatever the fuck overnight means. Did Doctor Who used to get anywhere between 70 to 100 million on their, like, the episode watch. That was what they would get. That is what Doctor Who used to get. It got 2 million. Chat, that's worse than Acolyte. Okay? This is worse than the fucking Acolyte. Think about that for a moment. I'm pretty sure the Acolyte had like 2.5 million. And Doctor Who only got 2. Holy fuck. Somebody in chat said this is fucking crater? Yeah. The ratings on this for Doctor Who had absolutely fucking cratered. Well, Phoenix, potato. It's not the same. Snow White, the Snow White movie is done by box office intake. TV shows are done by views. It's not the same metric. So.
And usually the season
they've already
premieres
filmed it,
have
Leo. They're not going to cancel. They already filmed it.
Than later episodes. It's usually the series premiere and then the finale are the biggest episodes. And this show's dead. Like it's over.
Oh yeah,
Doctor
it is
Who
dead.
Is done. They're definitely going to put it on pause. I'd be shocked, absolutely shocked, if Disney renewed Doctor Who, if the BBC renewed Doctor Who.
Oh, not happening.
And it does seem to be the case, as Russell T Davies said some things the other day, basically that they're going to put the show on pause, or hinted around that they're going to put the show on pause. And I think it all depends on Disney, and there's no way in hell Disney is going to bankroll more of this when they're pulling these rookie numbers. So
yeah, and bearing in mind, when he's talking about Disney putting in money for it, Disney is not making the show. A lot, just so there's no confusion, Disney is not making this show. They don't own anything. They have the distribution rights to broadcast Doctor Who on Disney Plus. That's it. Okay? That's the only thing that's the extent of Disney's involvement with Doctor Who. A lot of people are saying, like, oh, Disney bought Doctor Who. They bought the rights to Doctor Who, and it's now a Disney product. No, that is not the case. They bought distribution rights. So basically, in addition to broadcasting on the BBC in the UK, Disney got the distribution for it, essentially worldwide for the rest. So that's it. Okay, so just so there's no confusion. And, I mean, Seb, this could have been, this possibly could have been a step towards that. Towards Disney trying to buy the rights to Doctor Who itself. This may have been the first step, and they're backing the fuck off because it's, ever since Disney purchased it, the ratings have been going down and down and down and down, and now they've cratered. And so Disney's like, nope, fuck that. We're already losing millions upon millions of dollars from our own failures. We're not going to buy the BBC's failure as well.
Let's talk about it. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. Yeah,
12.9 from Day of the Doctor. Okay, Andrea, thank you
and
for the
course,
context.
BBC's like, well, we don't.
Yeah, I'm
really
probably thinking
know what
overall
the total
numbers,
ratings
not
are going to be, because you have to do the +7s, and then the plus sevens TV +4 screens, and then the +28s. Guys, they've been trying to spin Doctor Who as being this wild success for the last 3-4 years now, and it's obvious to anyone who's paying attention that it is not. Right? Just look.
Well, okay. Nepzerker, you're closer than you realize. Because here's the crazy part, okay? For those of you that did not see the 3-episode special leading up to Ncuti Gatwa taking on the role of the Doctor, that 3-episode series, they brought David Tennant and Catherine Tate back for one last ride. And it concluded with David Tennant's Doctor facing off against the Toymaster. And the Toymaster got a shot on David Tennant, like literally shot him. And you think, okay, he's going to regenerate into Ncuti Gatwa at this point. But he didn't. What happened instead is Ncuti Gatwa split off from David Tennant. Basically, mitosis. A la mitosis. So literally, Ncuti Gatwa spawned from David Tennant, but David Tennant's Doctor still remained. And then another TARDIS split off from the original TARDIS, just like Ncuti Gatwa did with David Tennant. So David Tennant's Doctor and David Tennant's TARDIS technically still exist. Yeah, the Bi-regeneration. David Tennant's Doctor and TARDIS still exists. And I guarantee you, they did that because even when they had cast Ncuti Gatwa, they were not confident that they were going to succeed. But they were still going to hand it over to Ncuti Gatwa, but they were going to try and keep David Tennant in the background just in case they needed to bring him back because fans love David Tennant's Doctor. And Isbisky, thank you for the follow. So, Ncuti Gatwa's Doctor is, technically speaking, a quasi-clone of the Doctor, as is the TARDIS. So what you said, what you said about that, Nepzerker, is not all that far from the truth. Oh, yes. Thank you, Jack. So, yeah, that's what you said, Nepzerker, is not far from the truth of what they've actually done. Now, are they going to, at the conclusion of Ncuti Gatwa's run, bring David Tennant back in and try and make a go of it? No, I don't think so. I think at this point they're going to shelve the whole fucking thing. Seb, I think there had been an intention to do that, but it ended up going nowhere. I seem to recall there had been like some talk in the BBC about doing a spin-off with the Doctor's daughter, and it just ended up going nowhere. And I don't think they're going to do it now. I strongly suspect, I forget the actress's name. She's actually married to David Tennant, so amusingly enough. It's Peter Davidson's daughter. For the life of me, I cannot remember her name. But I kind of suspect she's probably not going to want to, given how poorly Doctor Who is doing. Like the entire Doctor Who thing. Yeah, Grainus, you know that? In one of the, oh god, I'm going off on a tangent. Fuck it, we're doing it live. In one of the old David Tennant episodes, a piece of technology tries to clone the Doctor. And Georgia Moffat, thank you, Phoenix, thank you. Yeah, so a piece of technology takes some of the Doctor's blood and tries to create a clone of him, but does not, and in fact creates a blonde girl, played by Georgia Moffat. No, wait. Georgia Moffat? No, it was Georgia Davidson, not Moffat. She was not Moffat star. She was Peter Davidson's daughter. So Georgia basically is essentially a daughter of the Doctor because she was cloned from his DNA, and in the end is revealed to have Is it Moffat? Okay, it's Moffat. But in the end, like, she dies, but it's shown that she can regenerate after the Doctor has already left. She can regenerate, and she goes off in a rocket to have her own adventures. So Georgia Moffat is Peter Davidson, the, was it, 5th or 6th Doctor? I can't remember which one. But Georgia Moffat's father is Peter Davidson, who was also one of the incarnations of the Doctor. And Georgia Moffat married David Tennant, and they're still married to this day. So the Doctor's daughter married the Doctor. Wibbly wobbly, timey wimey. But it's fucking beautiful. Anyway, that's the whole story about the Doctor's daughter marrying the Doctor.
Get last season, you can see that the ratings were a lot higher. The overnights were higher. You know, episode 1 of the first season of Ncuti Gatwa's Doctor, 2.6 million. 2.4, then dropped down to 2.04, 2.6. I mean, these are all better numbers than what we're seeing. And the special got 4.
This is my opinion, but I think Jenna Coleman would have made for a far better 13th Doctor than Jodie Whittaker.
Possibly, JRC. The problem is, I don't think they could have finagled Jenna Coleman as the Doctor, given that Clara was still alive in the Doctor's universe. So I don't think it could have worked. Unfortunately. Yes, Phoenix. I remember that. I've seen that. It was I think it was a Red Nose Day short, if I remember correctly. Yeah, unfortunately, like, after Matt Smith's run, starting with Peter Capaldi's run, or actually, sorry, mostly with Peter Capaldi's run, you saw the writing starting to go downhill, and by the end of Peter Capaldi's run, unfortunately, the writing was failing him badly. And then he just went through the floor afterwards. Oh yeah, they've done a whole bunch of Doctor Who Red Nose Day shorts, including with Matt Smith too. How many kids, feral clones included, does the Doctor technically have? Okay, that's a little bit of a trick question, because during one episode of Peter Capaldi's run, he got cloned something like 1 billion times in one of Peter Capaldi's episodes. The episode consisted of him being cloned, running through a castle, being chased down, getting killed by some mysterious creature, and then this device recloning him and reconstituting him again over and over and over again for something like 1 billion years. So, yeah, it's
11 million, but usually the Christmas specials,
yes, that's actually the first Doctor.
People watch those because it's Christmas and they just kind of let the BBC play all day. So people might be like not actually watching it, but might be running in the background. But this is not a good indicator of things to come, because what's going to happen is next week and the week after, it will likely drop off. And
even
it's funny
further,
because they're trying to make excuses for it. This is a
TV
Zone. TV Zone.
Wyatt Return. They're trying to justify it, calling it a Wyatt Return. Really? Really? The cope is strong with TV Zone. APOC, it's TV, so it's this publication desperately running defense for the BBC and Doctor Who, because Doctor Who's ratings are through the floor. That's what it is.
UK.com or whatever. Ratings, Doctor Who makes quiet return for second season on BBC One. They were actually promoting the hell out of this season of Doctor Who. trying to pull this thing out of a tailspin. And I don't think there's any pulling this show out of a tailspin. I think it's over. They said that Doctor Who returned to BBC One on Saturday, April 12th, with the Robot Revolution. This is one but the Planet of the Incels. Guys, the Planet of the Incels. Nobody wanted to watch the Planet of the Incels, which scored overnight.
What? Wait. The Planet of the Incels? I think I might need some context for that. I definitely think I might need some context for that. No, the name of the episode is called The Robot Revolution. I guess it's being nicknamed The Planet of the Incels. The episode's name is The Robot Revolution. That's the name of the episode. But I guess it's being called Planet of the Incels because I'm guessing the planet is just filled with incels, or basically what people are perceiving as incels, at least the BBC. No, Matt Taz, I know which one you're talking about. No, that's a Peter Capaldi episode that you're thinking of. This is a brand new one. This is the season premiere of season 2 for Shooty Got. So. Does he talk about? Okay, if he talks about it.
Of 2 million. The consolidated
I hear about
which will include iPlayer devices and catch-up, will be released on the 21st. It was the 4th most watched program of the day across all channels and streamers, and the second most watched for BBC One behind the Gladiators finale. Yeah, it's not good.
The cult is so fucking strong.
I love this though. The review from The Independent. Doctor Who defies.
Yes. Doctor Who defies the naysayers and returns in triumph and power. Teamer. Get off the copium, my guy. Get off the goddamn copium. Holy shit. Wait. This is not even huffing copium. This is main one. This is like installing a goddamn central line direct injected into the fucking heart levels of copium. Holy fuck. Cool, I don't know. They're just like, they are desperately running defense for the BBC and for Doctor Who. This is abject desperation. Despite nagging recent questions about the Saturday event sci-fi staples future, this latest series finds Ncuti Gatwa and friends an inventive and freewheeling form. Oh my god. Honestly, I don't know where he found time to actually pen this article with the BBC's dick shoved so down his throat it was tickling his tonsils. Fucking
the
hell.
naysayers and returns in triumph. No. No. It doesn't matter how good the show is. Nobody's watching it. Nobody's watching Doctor Who. But it's not good
from everything I'm hearing.
Russell T Davies knows it's over. Winteriscoming.net has Russell T Davies 4 Cs. Doctor Who slowing down. There might be a pause, guys. A little bit of a pause. A little bit of a bump in the road. Yeah, we had a pause before last time, too. It was like 16 years. It was a 16-year pause. They have got to reset this show. They have got to go back and like retcon the last couple seasons out.
No, they can't. Retconning the show right now, they're too far gone. BBC is too far gone with Doctor Who at this point. They can't just simply retcon it. Okay? They need to literally shut it down for, at minimum, 10 years. Try and get people to forget this absolute shit show ever existed. Shelve it for minimum 10 years. And then when you have people that actually know how to write good, intelligent sci-fi that is not pandering to a mythical modern audience that doesn't even exist, then maybe you can bring it back, like they did with Eccleston. You know, when Doctor Who revived with Christopher Eccleston, it was like a 10 or a 15-year gap between when the Paul McGann movie came out and when the Christopher Eccleston season began. And by that point, people mostly didn't know about Doctor Who. Mostly. And when Eccleston came back, it started off slow. It started off, just in the UK, but the popularity of it fairly quickly picked up in the West, overseas, and it became a worldwide sensation. That's what they need to do here. You cannot simply just retcon it. You just put it the fuck away for 10 or 15 years, bring it back, don't even show the regeneration into the new Doctor. Whoever they ends up being the next Doctor, don't even show the regeneration. Do it just like they did with Eccleston, where he just comes into the scene, he's already been regenerated, so who knows how long, and just jumps straight into the adventure. That's, I think, the only way to do it after a significant pause. JRC, Amazon's not getting Doctor Who. The BBC is still holding on to Doctor Who. They are still holding on to the rights. No other company has control of Doctor Who. Not Disney, not Amazon, none.
This show or something. Just be like, look, the last canon series of Doctor Who was Peter Capaldi's last season. And then everything else has been a bad fever dream. The Master's putting a bunch of bullshit into the Doctor's head or something. I tricked you. You thought you were a little girl on Gallifrey. Ha, 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 ha. That'd actually be pretty funny. But, they got to do something, guys. This is not good. Winteriscoming.net says the future of Doctor Who has felt a little uncertain.
Oh, yeah,
lately,
Pink. Disney is 100% going to back out.
It's okay, guys. It's fine. It's not fine. The BBC's iconic science fiction series Doctor Who.
Wait. Of course, fans shouldn't be too worried about the series going on another hiatus. Really? Really? This person is saying, don't be worried about Doctor Who going on a hiatus. Exactly, David. That's what I'm saying. They desperately need to go on hiatus. It's the only way to save it, by going on a hiatus and coming back in 10 to 15 years.
Who has been on our screens for over 60 years. Yeah, there's a huge pause.
It's implied, Leo, but he may have just not seen himself in the mirror.
Content since
for God knows how long. The Doctor's always running around.
But 2 decades after
it could have been 10 years before he actually saw himself in the mirror.
That another pause could be very much in the pipeline, though nothing is confirmed. If Disney's not going to help bankroll it, I don't see the BBC paying for it. Of course, fans shouldn't be too worried about the series going on another hiatus. Doctor Who isn't exactly a type of series to get altogether axed. Why are they trying to spin this like a positive?
Exactly.
This
is copium.
Guys. This is
pure fucking
cope. It's merely a flesh wound. It's just a little scratch. It's okay. I'm barely bleeding. Talking to BBC's News Round, Russell T Davies weighed in on the immense timeless legacy of the Whoniverse. I kind of know that the Doctor's reached the status of like Robin Hood. Sometimes there might be a pause. And during that pause, the viewers of News Round will grow up a few years and start writing stories, and they'll bring it back. So I have absolute faith that we'll survive because I'm living proof of it, and that's what happens to good ideas. No good idea ever dies.
Right.
Yeah, good ideas don't die.
Okay, so we're seeing a dichotomy in what this author's trying to say. Come on, you. We're seeing a big difference in what this author's trying to say and what Davies said. Because this guy said, don't worry about the series going on another hiatus. It's not the type of series to get axed altogether. Like, okay, first and foremost, going on a hiatus and getting axed are two very fucking different things. Right away, this journalist doesn't understand fucking English. Like, these are two dynamically different things. Hiatus and axed is different. Axed means the series is done and dead and buried. hiatus literally means going on a pause. And then in the next breath is, oh, don't take it from me, listen to Davies. And Russell Davies literally just said, there might be a pause, which is a fucking hiatus. Like, seriously, what liberal arts college did this fucking journalist go to that they can't figure out basic fucking English context? This is incredibly stupid.
He has no good idea ever dies. Yeah, good ideas don't die. Doctor Who is a good idea. It's just poor execution. And I never thought that Russell T Davies would be the one to kill the show off again, right? Like, he brought it back, and it's been mostly okay for at least half of that time. In fact, it was huge 10 years ago. Well, yeah. I guess it's been a little longer than that, maybe 12 years ago. 12 years ago in the U.S., Doctor Who was huge. And that never really...
No, I dial it back even further. More than... I'd say Doctor Who was probably huge about 15 years ago. I would wager 15 years ago is when Doctor Who reached the height of its popularity, during the Matt Smith run. Probably about midway through the Matt Smith run, that is, I would say, when it reached the height of popularity. Yeah, but roughly around the 2010s. Yeah. That is when it was at its peak. Peak popularity was about 2010, early 2010, somewhere around there. That was Matt Smith's run, and that was peak for Doctor Who. Yeah, and in fact, Day of the Doctor itself may have indeed been the peak for Doctor Who. That Day of the Doctor may have actually signaled the peak for the show, possibly. Well, and yeah, APOC, that is the 15th. That Day of the Doctor is the 15th anniversary. And it was slowly going downhill. Like the last half of Matt Smith's run, you could see the writing was starting to flag. Peter Capaldi, unfortunately, we were seeing that dip more significantly. Although I will say Peter Capaldi did have a couple of good episodes. I mean the Zygon one, with his famous speech, with the Zygon War one. Fucking brilliant, that speech. But we were seeing Capaldi's run, we were seeing the writing continuing to go down. It took a very steep dive with Jodie Whittaker's run, and now it's just gone off the fucking cliff. It's going off the fucking cliff, and it's splattered into the spiked chasm below. So, yeah.
They happened before, like Doctor Who.
Oh yeah, APOC,
has
that was
always
fucking
been
great.
Kind of a niche thing here in the U.S. It's not even close to being what the level that was in the UK, but like it was actually really.
I'll disagree with Neon on that. I'm pausing a lot, but I will disagree with Neon on that. At its peak in the early 2000s, early 2010s, I would say Doctor Who may have sustained a level of popularity very similar to the UK. I do. I think it, at its peak, I do think it had that same level of popularity in the US. It was that beloved. And that's why this hurt so much, is because they had a worldwide audience that fucking loved the Doctor. And they basically pissed it all away. That's the sad part. This isn't just like, okay, fans have lost interest and it just kind of faded away and finally, no, they literally went after the fans and basically told the fans, go fuck yourself. You're going to like this.
Really big in the US because of BBC America. I think it was on Sci-Fi before that. My son, one of the first comic conventions we took him to, he cosplayed as the 11th Doctor. He had the bow tie and everything, the fez, and yeah, he got a lot of pictures. They're like, oh, isn't he cute? Yeah, it was a lot of fun. He loved Doctor Who. He doesn't love Doctor Who anymore. He doesn't even watch it. He doesn't pay any attention to it now. It's dead to him.
Yep.
It's been dead to him since, I'd say, about halfway through Capaldi's run. He was like, yeah, I'm not into this show anymore, Dad. The whole family dropped off. I stuck it out because I loved Peter Capaldi, but I got to admit, about half of his episodes, 3/4 of his episodes, they were trash.
Yep,
he was
they weren't
a great
good.
doctor in a lot of really trash episodes.
Yeah,
And
that's the sad
then everybody was just done after Whittaker. So,
and by the way, I will also point out that Russell T Davies was largely responsible for the meteoric rise of the Doctor's popularity during his stint as showrunner during David Tennant's run as the Doctor. Russell T Davies, during David Tennant's initial run, was a fan-fucking-tastic showrun and was the reason why the show gained so much popularity. Here's why it's failed because he came back. Because the BBC let him off the leash. I guarantee you, during his initial run with Doctor Who, during David Tennant's run as the Doctor, the BBC kept him on a leash and wouldn't let him do all the stupid shit, the stupid, activist shit that he probably wanted to do back when he was in charge. When they brought him back, they just said, do whatever the fuck you want, and this is what we got. And this is why it's a good idea to keep your creatives on something of a leash so they don't go fucking hog wild and kill your entire show.
Oh yeah, Doctor Who returned for its second season since being rebooted by Davies. The new series marks return of Shutigatwa and it's the robot revolution and the plan of the incels. After a mixed bag of a debut season on Disney Plus, Davies and the crew are hoping for a distinct improvement in viewership this time around.
Yeah, keep dreaming.
Guess what? You're shit out of luck there, Russell. This is the worst it's ever been.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
And don't tell me it's doing great on Disney Plus, because if it was doing great on Disney Plus, Disney would be crowing about it. Disney spent money on this show, in my opinion. They spent money on the show, and they had lots of money to spend on streaming.
Same with George Lucas.
And
correct.
You guys got a little bit of a boon there. You got lucky, and free ride's over. It's over. They're not going to bankroll this anymore, in my opinion. I'd be very, very surprised.
No, Disney's done with this.
So what's this one? This comes from GBN or GB News. GB News? GBN? BBC Doctor Who viewers fume, let it die, as fans slam shallow and forced social commentary amid dwindling ratings.
Holy shit,
not like
nice.
The plan of the incels, I guess. The debut of the new series of Doctor Who has divided fans, with some claiming the iconic BBC series is finished after Saturday's episode failed to impress. The robot revolution introduced the new companion as she was kidnapped by robots and taken to a planet that had been bizarrely named after her, ruled by a sentient AI determined to make her its queen. Soon revealed the AI was actually just a jilted former boyfriend of hers, ultimately leading to her saying she was on the planet of the incels.
Oh my fucking god. Are you fucking kidding me right now? What the actual fuck? I thought that the whole planet of the incels thing was what people that had seen the show were calling it. No, the character actually says it. What the actual fuck? There are no words. This line right here says it all. Well, it's not a question of it being like, oh, it's not as stupid as plotline X, Y, or Z. It's not about being stupid. It's about being fucking insulting. Okay? This is about insulting the audience.
Okay, I'm not a Doctor Who fanatic, but even I can tell that this isn't a Doctor Who script. This is just sad.
Wow, you sounded really frustrated on that one. Wow, she sounded seriously frustrated on that. But yeah, this is not so much like, oh, it's a stupid plot. This is the writers and everybody involved in the show is literally giving the middle finger to the audience. Because the fact that Belinda actually says that she's on a planet of incels, that is everyone involved in the show basically telling their own fucking audience, go fuck yourself, you're a bunch of assholes. You're a bunch of incels, we despise you all, now consume our product. That's what this fucking is. The fact that the character itself says, I'm on the planet of the incels. I am. Like, literally, there was... The AI was a jilted former boyfriend of hers that was in charge of this planet. And so she basically classified, because the singular AI in charge was the former jilted boyfriend. Let's figure out what the hell that is. And she basically did, like, oh my fucking god. And the fact that she does, and also this word right here. Okay? This word right here is a slur. Okay? Because people in this industry have been calling anybody that does not agree with their vision or criticizes and you know what they're, you know, the direction they've taken the show, the characterizations they made, and people said, look, this isn't great. We don't like that we're doing that you're doing this. And we're not really happy with the show. Have called these people making these criticisms incels. They've literally used it as a slur against people that have made criticisms of the show. And that's how it connects to the fans. Because they actually pulled this shit. This is fucking Doctor Who. Okay? Doctor Who, while it did have commentary, like social, and bearing in mind, Doctor Who has always had social commentary. It has. Okay? There's always been social commentary. But it was always done in a very clever way, and it was done in a way that wasn't directly attacking anybody. Since Jodie Whittaker took over as Doctor Who, they have the social commentary that has been involved in Doctor Who has been nothing but attacking in nature. And that is why, to me anyway, this reads as an attack against the audience. To me, especially in the context of what we heard, where Ncuti Gatwa and whatever the fuck her name is, I don't even remember the actress's name, the fact that in an interview, she recounted that Ncuti Gatwa told her it's the first time in the show's history that there isn't a white person in the TARDIS. We're going to piss off so many people. And he said it with so much glee, and she shared in that. Yes, I'm 100% taking this as insulting the audience. This is based off of that and everything else that has come before it, with how the cast and crew have conducted themselves in interviews. I'm 100% taking this as being aimed at the audience. 100%, because of everything that's come before it. The way they've treated the audience. This is a direct fuck you to the audience.
Guys, Planet of the Incels. I'm sure this is right up there with Go Touch Grass. Shooty told everybody to go touch grass, and they did. David Tennant out there.
Oh, I don't doubt it,
talking
Kaibo.
about
I don't
all
doubt
kinds
it.
of trans rights issues and whatever, and telling people to go get effed if they don't agree with him. Well, guess what? They left. David Tennant successfully chased off a bunch of Doctor Who fans too. I mean, I never thought I'd see the day. Like I said, Russell T Davies brought it back into this world, and he took it out. Congratulations. You're the alpha and the omega, Russell. You're the beginning and the end of Doctor Who. Good for you. Did you get a trophy for that? Did you get a little statuette to put on your desk? I don't know. Fans were intensely divided over the episode, with some enjoying the return of Gatwa and Sethu, is that her name? Her debut, but finding the on-the-nose social commentary tiresome. Doctor Who: The Robot Revolution was a fun ride.
No, not tiresome. Okay, let's not fuck with this. It's not tiresome. It's fucking insulting. Okay, saying, fans were divided, but finding the on-the-nose social commentary tiresome? No, they fucking hate it. That's why they said fuck the show last season or even seasons before that. They're fucking done with the BBC cringing at them and trying to affect. They're tired of people in Britain and across the world, honestly, are tired of the BBC trying to do what Disney tried to do, which is affect social engineering and say, you will like this or you are a bad person because we say so. So no, it's more than just on the nose social commentary. It's literally people are telling the BBC, go fuck yourselves. You don't get to tell me how I think.
And Virata Sethu is a great addition to the TARDIS, but parts of it were frustratingly undercooked, especially the eye-rolling Planet of the Incels. Second Despair, Doctor Who used to do social commentary because it had something to say. Now it's just doing social commentary because it feels like it has to say something. That is a very accurate description of wokeness and forced diversity in entertainment, in my opinion.
I'm going to slightly disagree that now it's doing social commentary because it feels like it has to say something. No, I think now it's doing social commentary because it has something to say, but what it has to say is not what people agree with. Like the social commentary, like I'd said before, the social commentary before was something that everybody could agree with because the Doctor was always about, openness and basically like loving everyone and accepting of all peoples. Like Doctor Who, especially during David Tennant's run and Matt Smith's run, was always like every alien planet, every alien creature. Not once did the Doctor ever go, ooh, you are an ugly son of a bitch, or the polite British equivalent of it. Literally every planet, every alien the Doctor encountered that he'd never encountered before, he would initially start off with saying, you beautiful X, Y, and Z. Like the Doctor cherished life. And that's where the social commentary in previous seasons come into play. Is the Doctor cherished life. He would always try and, solve a problem without eliminating anybody. And now it's not about that. Now it's about pushing. It's all about you've removed the alien aspect, where yes, unless Daleks, but obviously there's the Daleks are an exception, not the rule. But now, as of late, the Doctor has all about been pushing a modern day social agenda. Bear in mind, this is a Time Lord. That is an alien. That is thousands of years old. Possibly tens of thousands of years old at this point. The Doctor is pushing a modern 2020s Earth social agenda. And pushing it. Do we see the problem? So it's not that it feels like it has to say something. It's desperately trying to say something, and it's going to try and beat its audience over the head with it over and over and over again, with the hopes that they will be beaten into submission and go, okay, BBC, you're right. This is how it should be. Problem is, people are very happy to go, hey, BBC, go fuck yourself. I'm changing the channel.
Because, yeah, they used to have something to say, and now they feel like they have to say something. That is very accurate. Because back in the day, it was all
The
about,
only
you know, well, we
aliens
want
the
to say
Doctor
something,
would
we want to
hate are
get
probably the coup.
The what? I have no idea what you're talking about there, Robo.
this point across, whatever. Now it's like, we have to say it or we're going to get canceled. We're not going to look progressive
Basically,
enough.
militia?
We have to say
Yeah,
it.
in the
Or
last
because
couple
mandates.
seasons.
It's shallow and forced. The episode was fine. Another person said more funny than I expected. Loving Verada as Belinda. Shooty is improving with each outing. Well, he
Oh, God.
better improve pretty damn quick because he is currently the lowest rated Doctor. Murray Gold was cooking with that score. Murray Gold is always good. How did they get this wrong? They brought David Tennant back. They brought Russell T Davies back.
They got it wrong because they let Russell Davies off the chain. That's how they got it wrong. Like, if Russell T Davies returned...
Dead? Doctor. Who is the dark side? The BBC has embraced impossible. It is for the BBC to return to the light side.
I think Yoda might have had a little bit of a stroke. See, even Yoda can't handle what's happened to the Doctor. That's how bad we've gotten. Even one of the greatest Jedi Masters in the galaxy can't fucking handle what's going on with the Doctor. This is how bad it's gotten, chat.
Brought Murray Gold back, and they still fucked it up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because they let Russell T Davies off the chain.
That takes some skill, man. That takes some skill. Plot was serviceable, some really bad and tacked on attempts at commentary on incels. However, others were not so even-handed and stormed social media with their fury at the latest adventure. Wow, this episode is hateful on a whole new level, and yes, they literally say plan to the incels. Taking aim at Russell T Davies, the second rage, the best you can come up with is a Borg incel. The show's finished. Let it die. Let it die.
Yeah.
The latest episode has recorded its lowest overnight ratings to date, with the latest debut attracting just 2 million viewers.
Oh, and by the way, he jumped over this one. One fan said the episode was actually really good for the first time in a long time. I enjoyed a Doctor Who episode. This is the singular fan that claims to have loved the Doctor Who episode. Who knows? Maybe they were tripping balls when they watched it and they saw an actual completely different episode in their own head because they were tripping on shrooms or something when they watched.
It's over. Like, just, it's over. There's no
Oh, yeah,
saving
it's
Doctor
done.
Who.
It is done.
There's no saving it. There's no saving it at this point. Russell T Davies was the last best hope that we had, and he dropped the ball. And yeah, I think it's probably for the best that they just pause this show for like a decade and let somebody else come in and do something with it. Maybe. I mean, there's always the Big Finish audio. There's always comic books. There's, you know what I'm saying? But it's just like, it's over, right? I've moved on. This used to be one of my favorite shows. For a while, it was my favorite show on TV.
Mine too.
And I've moved on. Just like I moved on from Star Wars. You just have to be willing to let this stuff go. You get to a point where it's like, it is just wearing that skin suit of that thing I loved. It's never going to be the same. You can never go home again.
Nope.
Even if you get all the same people back, it doesn't. That's like George Lucas could come back to Star Wars and it would probably still be fucked up.
I wouldn't trust that. Okay, let me
there's no saving it at this point. So you just remember how it was and you move on. Gonna wrap it up. Please subscribe. We will talk later.
And this is what I'm talking about when I had mentioned earlier. It's like, just because someone made something great, in the entertainment industry, TV or movie. George Lucas, Russell T Davies, Burns Tim, various other, creators that have made wonderful shows. Literally, like, social zeitgeist shows that shaped society for years afterwards. Okay, George Lucas with Star Wars. Russell T Davies with Doctor Who. Bruce Timm with Batman the Animated Series. Those three, just as three examples, made shows that shaped society for the better because of the art that they produced. Now in the modern time, they get brought back again. Well, for George Lucas, not so much the modern time, but yeah, you know what I'm talking about when he came back for 1, 2, and 3. And the people holding the purse strings say, "You created something wonderful last time. Do it again. You have full creative freedom." And they go off the chain and they make something so fucking bad. Every one of them. They just make something so incredibly bad. In the modern day, they're making it for not so much George Lucas, because this is before his time, but like they make it for like the modern audience, and they don't have anyone holding them back and basically keeping them focused, and they destroy the franchise. And that's why every time we've heard, "Oh, so-and-so is coming back to do this show," and the thought process is like, "Oh, this is going to be great, right?" And my first thought is, fuck no, it's not going to be great. This is probably going to kill the show. Because realistically, that is what happens these days. Is when you bring back the OGs are basically poison. Bringing an OG back to a Hollywood product to basically take the reins once more is kind of a death sentence for most Hollywood products these days. Because every fucking single one of them goes whole hog into the modern audience bullshit, and they kill whatever franchise they're working on. So no, I don't, anytime they say, "Oh, so-and-so's coming back to work on it," I think, cool, you just killed the show. I don't trust any of them.